Okay, guys, so why is it important to discuss, terrorism and digital technology? Well, basically, the digital technology is like a double-edged sword. It can provide benefits for benevolent or ordinary users like us, but also it can also empower bad actors, criminals, including terrorists and cyber criminals. So first, discussing digital technology and terrorism is important because there's an urgency to discuss how to regulate digital technology, particularly cyber instruments, because unlike terrorist weapons in the past, digital technology is not easy to regulate. Coercive weapons utilized by terrorists in the past, like firearms and explosives, have kinetic effects, meaning they actually hurt, maim, and kill people, and their possession can be clearly verified and detected. Imagine that the same cannot be said about digital technology. Digital technology have no kinetic effects. It doesn't actually hurt people or kill people. It can have those effects indirectly, but only indirectly. And uh, digital technology have been used by terrorists, and they cannot be barred or exempted from the use of digital technology because basically digital technology is also important for ordinary civilians. Thus, unlike other weapons that terrorists utilized in the past that can be regulated, terrorists cannot be barred from using digital technology. Second reason is that the utilization of digital technology has implicated on how terrorist organizations form and functionalize in the society. Digital transformation, i.e. the integration of digital technology into all walks of life, intrinsically changes how organizations and individuals do things. Everything from business processes to personal habits has been impacted by digital transformation. This is also the case with terrorist organizations. As they adopt digital technologies, their methods of survival and operations also changed. Terrorist organizations is increasingly moving at the cellular level rather than the hierarchical organizations. They tend to conduct their attacks locally, but the network and their reach out and their communication is global due to the use of digital technology. So, digital technology facilitates locally emerging terrorist organizations to learn the methods of terrorist organizations in other localities, in other parts of the world, in other parts of the globe. And on the other hand, it also allows them to project their influence globally with local activities. This requires states to share and coordinate more internationally, which is also a challenging aspect of today's intensified geopolitical rivalry. A third, and the follow-up reason, is that responding to digital technology utilization by terrorists remains illusory as to what is the next digital technology that terrorists will utilize to support their activities or conduct an actual attack, be it on the cyberspace or an attack that actually has a kinetic impact. They may utilize cyber tools, misinformation, and a disinformation campaign designated to precipitate conflict. They may use drones or unmanned aerial vehicles to disseminate dangerous substances, perhaps chemical substances, to a certain community that they want to target. They may conduct food and water poisoning through hacking the digitalized food and water processing facilities, etc. According to the framework designed by Rappaport, there are four waves of terrorism. Uh, political, primarily terrorists that primarily focused on advocating political reform, terrorists that had a central mission of fighting for self-determination, and terrorists that predominantly associated with leftist movements, and finally, terrorists that are motivated by religious ideologies. So, in terms of its association with digital technologies, uh, I think that different strains of terrorism, including religious terrorism, left or new left terrorism, or separatist terrorism, ultra right-wing terrorism, all strains of terrorism will use digital technology to advance their objectives. So terrorists have a high propensity for innovations that we should not take lightly. They are not just fanatics, they're not just radicalized, violent, barbarics or fanatics. Terrorists are also rational individuals. They aim to impact on the decision-making psychology of the audience that they choose to target through spectacular, shocking, terrifying, emotionally shaking actions. As we can see in this chart written by Jackson and Freilinger in 2008, terrorist innovations, even before digital technology arrives, were diverse. They include various types of weapons, but mostly on the types of explosives where terrorists have used, including improvised explosive devices, hand grenades, rocket-propelled grenades or RPGs, mortars, rockets, distribution of weapon types used in a sample of terrorist operations between 1980 to 2005. So this diagram indicated the type of weapon that was employed. Counts of weapon uses are also included over the bars in the parentheses. The range of weapons indicate a high variety of innovations by terrorist organizations worldwide. But we have to bear in mind that these weapons can be regulated relatively easily compared to digital technology. We know that societies are not always free to possess and operate firearms. Not to mention firearms that are used for military operations. So we can see that weapons that are used by terrorists so far, firearms, are diverse, but it is also dominated by explosives, including bombs, planet explosive devices, hand grenades, rocket-propelled grenades, mortars, rockets. So terrorists continually try to innovate in the use of weapons. In the future, terrorists will still use mostly firearms because they can easily be used to impact or to produce catastrophic events that can terrorize the society. However, the use of digital technology, especially in cyberspace, will facilitate the procurement of these firearms, so it can be more difficult to detect by the authorities.